Kalau saya sendiri sih jujur aja orangnya nggak suka baca.
Perubahan tuh kita mulai dari nol lagi. Tidak gampang.
Konnichiwa. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore, good afternoon everyone. It is indeed a privilege, honor, truly a happiness for me to be back at Sofia University to meet students as well as quite a few diaspora Indonesia here in the audience. And I'd like to first of all express my appreciations to Professor Fukutake Sintaro for organizing this event, for hosting this lecture. And for me, going back to Tokyo is always fun. It's a lot of memory about the city, and also in specific to be back to Sofia. I attended a summer program here in 1993, and I believe some of you were not yet born then. Please don't raise your hand if you're not born yet. I was here in 1993 as a summer student attending summer program at Sofia University in Ichigaya campus, not at Yosuya. But I sometimes came to Yotsuya for accessing the library and also the computer lab. Oh yeah, by the way, talking about computer lab, Professor Fukutake, when I came here, I brought all my papers and my data into my disk, hoping that I will be able to then convert and work on it here in the computer at the lab. So one day I walked to the lab, taking along my floppy disk, and then when I get there, I told them I need to print a few papers. The lab attendant was looking at me and looking at my disk. Where is your disk? And I said, this is my floppy disk. And he had a smile, and we're no longer using the floppy disk. So there's no way I can access my floppy disk. And it was a 5/4 size inch floppy disk. That is truly floppy disk. It is truly floppy. And I wasn't able to access all my data because everything was there, and the technology has changed here. We are about 5 to 6 years behind, I believe, there. But now everything is with Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. There's no longer issues about compatibility. Anyway, before I start our conversation, if I may get some statistic here. Please raise your hand if you're coming from Tokyo. Okay, good. Please raise your hand if you're coming from outside Tokyo. Wow. Please raise your hand if you're coming outside Japan. You're visiting here? Well, we were in the same flight, so yeah. And I also would like to say hello to Miss Mariko, who is in the translator room. Miss Mariko out there. She is now almost 80 years old, and she was a translator when I was here as a governor 7 years ago. Translating and accompanying my trip for 7 days. Everything was with her. I was not able to see her yet, but I'm going to see you, Ms. Mariko. Please give a big clap to her willingness to come and translate it for us. Bu Mariko, terima kasih. Anyway, now let's start about the subject that I have been assigned to discuss about, which is about the youth participation in a democracy. And I believe many of you here are young, are youth. Please raise your hand if you consider yourself young. That's a true test, okay? Sir, you can also raise your hand, sir, okay? You can consider yourself young. I myself think that you're young or old is not, it doesn't depend on the year you were born, but depend on your mindset. If your story is about the future, then you're young. But if your story is about the past, then you're old. You may be 25 years old, but whatever you tell stories is about the past, then you're actually old. But I often met someone aged more than 90, and he or she is never interested in telling the past, always talking about present and future. I consider that person as a young person, even though he or she is more than 90. Yeah. So if you're still talking about the future, then you're young. So don't talk too much about the past. Now, tonight, what I will be discussing is about youth participations in democracy and its importance. This is one aspect that I thought is of interest to many of us. I'm still rather traditional on this. So beside the slide projector, I'll add some of the items in writing. So one aspect is on the importance of youth participations in democracy. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. Okay. I thought everything in Japan works well. One is about importance. Importance of youth in a democracy. And there's intersections of three things. One is youth, two is technology, three is democracy. The intersection has made it critical for many nations, including Indonesia, to see the participations of the youth and why it matters. As we face challenges, perhaps nanti dulu slide-nya ke belakang dulu. Terlalu cepat. I'm not yet there. But it is important for us, be it in Indonesia and across the globe, the participations of the young people has already generated new colors in democracies. And in fact, if I may outline some of key people who have said this. I'm quoting Kofi Annan, the Secretary General of UN from Ghana. He once said that young people should be at the forefront of global change and innovations. If they are empowered, they can be key agents for development and peace. However, if they are left out in the society, all of us will be impoverished. So let us ensure that the young people have every opportunity to participate fully in the lives of our society. This is a message that often people think as classic, but it becomes more and more crucial nowadays. But why it is essential? So go to the next slide. Now, these are a few things. One is about representations and inclusivity. That's key. Number two is about innovations and fresh perspective. Number three, it's about long-term stability and sustainability of our democracy. Number four, it's about digital literacy and technological adaptations. And the fifth point is about global perspective and interconnectedness. Let me elaborate first one. First is about representation and inclusivity. Young people comprise significant portions of our society. Needless to say, the proportions is about a quarter to 30% across society across the globe. Even though, in terms of percentage, from time to time, we are seeing a diminishing number in terms of percentage because the longer life expectations of our populations. However, when the young people engage, it leads into a more inclusive democratic process. The young people often outline voices that is left out. And when they are engaged, they make democracy more equitable. Number two is the innovations and fresh perspective. What is unique about the young people? If I may ask you, what are the key components that make youth, young, is unique compared to other group of our society? You can raise your hand if you think you have an answer. Yeah.
Number two,
Number two,
fresh perspective.
fresh perspective. Yeah, fresh perspective, newness. You're coming with something new. You have a new slant in looking at things. Something that the elderly have been dealing for many years. When the young people come and see, they come up with something new. I remember in Jakarta, we have a zebra cross like Shinjuku, not like a Shinjuku like this one, but similar to that. Well, actually all crossroad is the same, right? But there's a zebra cross, it's all the same. But for the young people, suddenly the zebra cross becomes something unique. They change it into catwalk. Okay? For the elderly, this is a place where you cross the street. For the young people, this is a place where you do your fashion show, right? But I'm just giving you an example of newness. So what we like to see in the youth participation in democracy, they come into the stage with newness, with fresh perspective. And the third point is long-term stability and sustainability of democracy. There are so many cases in which democratization process lead into transformations we are hoping ends in consolidated democracy, but that doesn't always be the case. Sometimes you have democratizations, and then we're practicing democracy for a few decades, and then there's a decline of democracy, and turn back into authoritarianisms, or semi-authoritarianism, or pseudo-democracy at the minimum. Who will guard democracy to consolidate? It's the young people. So engagement of the young people in the democratization process and in the democratic process help to safeguard our democracy. It is the young people that often in the front line when it comes to ensuring democracy stand still. Whenever there is an effort to deteriorate or to lower the quality of our democracy. So the issue of sustainability and stability of democracy is truly guarded by participation of our young people. And the fourth point is about digital literacy. Nowadays, the young people were very much engaged with technology, using digital method to articulate aspirations, to bridge digital divide, to make government more accessible, to make government more transparent, and familiarity with the digital platform by the youth has enhanced public engagement, has made informations disseminated much wider, and for anyone in government who are doing things not in a proper way, through digital engagement, they cannot get away, including if you fly with a private jet. You know? We flew with Jet Airline last night, so we're okay. So I was a governor in Jakarta, and being a governor in Jakarta, in the city where almost 100% of its people were digitally connected, whenever things goes wrong, okay, they will find it, they will articulate it, and they're going to criticize government for everything that goes wrong, right? How do we go about it? We should thank them. And that's our approach. We thank the citizens of Jakarta, especially the netizens, for actively scrutinizing everything we're doing. Yeah, because when you're being scrutinized, it is a measure for us to continuously improve quality of our work. Look, I was a governor of Jakarta. I'm managing 200,000 employees of Jakarta City, managing 11 million people. With active participations, then you're actually being helped mostly by the youth. But you can only feel you're being helped if you're doing things right. If you are doing things, wrong things, you wanna try to get away from the public scrutiny, including those flying things, right? Because you don't like that scrutiny. But if you're doing it right, then you don't have any problem with that. And then the fifth aspect is on the global perspective and the interconnectedness. We need to thank the internet and the social media, because today youth are more globally connected than any time of the past. Compared to any previous generations, today the young people are more connected globally. So issues that is at the global level easily understood by the youth everywhere in the world. For give you one example, the issues of global climate crisis. In this era, with the connectivity.
Teman-teman, berjumpa bersama saya di Politik Dangi. Kalau kita lihat, menarik sekali ya bagaimana Anies Baswedan ini ya memberikan sebuah pidato yang sangat luar biasa ya di hadapan semua orang, teman-teman ya. Berbeda dengan para pembencinya yang selalu nyinyir saja di hadapan media dan sebagainya, teman-teman. Anies Baswedan ini sebenarnya nggak mau pusing ya tentang kritikan apapun yang disampaikan tentang negatif tentang dirinya, teman-teman. Itulah hebatnya seorang Anies Baswedan ya, yang tetap konsisten ya, kemudian tenang ya, dingin. Itulah sosok pemimpin yang luar biasa. Bagaimana menurut kalian? Kita diskusi di kolom komentar ya. Sampai jumpa lagi. Salam.